Hey, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Trying to get Carol on, working through a few technical difficulties. Man, I tell you what, the technical difficulties at the first of the year, it's like something like a magnet went throughout the air and just decided to mess with all the technology. It's kind of crazy. Okay, let's see if she can get on here. Let's see. Let me see if I can also just send her a special link. I don't want to do that. I want to invite. My copy link.
Angie, has she tried to shut down Zoom and shut down our computer and open up a whole new browser and stuff? Because it could probably be on her end.
Could be. I'm going to, we'll test that theory now. I just want to nip this in the bud, so give me just a moment here. Let's see here. Okay, she says she's on. All right, there she is. Well, hello. Yeah, sometimes for some people, I have to actually be on in order for you to get in. So that's another little moody thing about Zoom. Sometimes it'll let everybody join and you start talking without me on there, and then other times it makes you wait. So, welcome everybody. Good to see all of you all. We are day 4 of the detox. Yay! Who's feeling good?
Yay.
I am. I'm feeling great. I have been making great progress. I haven't talked much about my journey this go around, but I just to start us off with a little bit of hope and inspiration that you can create a lifestyle with this and you can experience victories. So over the holidays, over the Christmas holiday, I wanted to put myself to the test to see if I could really get through the entire holiday and manage my food and discipline myself. And I did that. I was able to get through the Christmas holidays with everybody being there. And I ate detox style. And it was the best feeling. It was, and I mean, I can understand from a spiritual standpoint why the Lord wanted me to do that. He wanted me to be on my toes and focused on some things, some challenges that I knew that were coming. But even after the holidays and the aftermath of that, I stuck I stuck with it. And I'm really, I mean, I'm happy because I'm looking on the scales and I'm not only back to normal, but I'm making progress. I'm making a lot of headway. And so I'm getting down to the real goal that I want to be my default weight. But the emotional clarity is incredible. The emotional clarity, the energy, I'm not feeling exhausted. I'm getting up at 4:30 for the prayer challenge that we're doing. I'm going to bed at a normal hour and I'm not zonked and feeling exhausted. I'm feeling clear and good. And I like this lifestyle. I like being able to eat this way. And so it's healthy. I can tell my body is getting healthier. Yesterday my body was working out toxins and I thought that the toxins were coming like right out of the tip of my nose because because yesterday afternoon the top of my nose it just became like this big red cherry I was just watching it, as I was on call, I was like, what is going on with my nose? And I was like Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. So this is kind of funny, but what I realized, it wasn't necessarily the detox that was doing that to my nose, but there was a new candle. Amanda Gleason had given me a new candle, and I had it going, and I'm like in this little cove. I'm at the top of the stairs on the second floor at the VIP in the little cove where there's the two little desks. And I realized that it was that candle that I was having an allergic reaction to, that my body was like, nope, that's not working. And I blew out that candle and I put it in another room, and I watched my nose literally just go back to normal. It was the weirdest thing. But important point about that. Yesterday I was talking about every time you introduce chemicals into your body, it has an impact. We're not just talking about food. We're talking about things in the air. We're talking about environmental allergies. And so when we just imagine if we take those chemicals and we put them into our bodies, what it's doing to our bodies. Just a great example of how there are some things that our body says, I'm not liking that. And we know that our body doesn't like things because we get the inflammation. We start to feel sluggish. We don't sleep well, or we sleep too much. So it tends to take us to the extremes. And that's one reason why in the detox, we work towards not just consistency, but simplicity. We're trying to simplify what we eat right now so that we can eliminate as many possibilities that we're putting more allergens into our body. We're putting more foods in our body that triggers those environmental allergies. So I just had to pull that out and give you a snapshot of what's going on in the life of Angie Nuttall right now from a food fighter / fit and focus perspective. All right, well, let's go ahead and check in now that everybody is on. So in the chat, I would love for you to just go ahead and post what you're doing. We're going to spend more time today on the relationship because we've had 2 days where I wanted to talk about that and we haven't been able to get to it. So we're going to do a little bit of work around that. So let's see how you did yesterday. And I do have some go backs that I have. Jennifer, I want to find out how you did yesterday. I was listening to the replay today on the way into the VIP center, and I know that you were going to do tilapia and Boston lettuce and all of that. So I'm curious to find out how that went. You're welcome to go ahead and come off mute if you want to go ahead and share.
Okay. I did well. That's what I had yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of it. So like I ate a whole head of the lettuce because I knew that I would be hungry, especially after you'd said it was very low calorie. I didn't really think of that. So I did that twice. And I had my oranges. I had 2 again and then 3 again.
Mm-hmm.
We actually went bowling with my parents, so the kids and their grandparents, we all went bowling. And I took my oranges with me because I was thinking about the timing.
Yeah.
And after that, they wanted to take us out to eat at a Mexican restaurant. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And I didn't have anything, not a bite. And I sat at the other end of the table from my parents because they were the only ones that would have given me a hard time about not
Right.
eating. And I did eat my dinner late, but I ate it and I'm down 2 pounds.
Yay. Good
So
job.
it was interesting because it was easy to say no, even at the restaurant. Like I was tempted, but I just knew I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking a lot about what Angie I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Morel. You've been talking so much about living that lifestyle without really thinking about it. And so all day yesterday, even though I had my meals and I did well, I wanted cookies so bad. I wanted a beer with my husband so bad. And I thought, when is this going to go away? Because I can fight it for a day, but I don't want to want it anymore. So,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I've been thinking about more lately. But it was a good day.
Jennifer, I want to say that I've been in that mindset too, like, Lord, I don't want this. I don't want to feel this way all the time. And that is really a prompt for you to actually go to the Lord and say, Lord, I don't want this to be in my life. I don't want this to control me. And I'm going to ask you to take this from me. That's what I had to do with wine. I really have historically loved wine. And I also, I mean, I've prayed a few times, Lord, just take that from me. And he'll take it from me. And every once in a while I'll come back in and take it back. And there's nothing wrong with having a glass of wine. Just as long as we're not using that to drown our sorrows over a problem, or we're binging because of an emotional situation. I mean, wine is wine, and we can all enjoy that. But if it's something that is tempting you, or it's got a stronghold in your life, then that's when God comes into the picture, right? And you can go to him and he will be faithful to hear you. That's what I know, and that's what I've experienced in my own life. And those cookies, I mean, I get it, man. You can't just eat one Oreo. Can't just eat one Snickerdoodle. I was driving back. I was leaving work yesterday, and there's this bakery. It's Boyden's Bakery. They have the best donuts on the planet, and I drive by it every day. And I was reminded of different times when I didn't, I would go in there and I wouldn't just have one donut. I mean, I'd have like 4 donuts, right? Or even 5 donuts. And I caught myself in that behavior. I'm like, why am I doing this? What is it that's behind this? And there's a relationship issue. And so we're going to talk about relationships. I'll hold on that, but thank you for sharing that. All right, let's see. Looking at everybody's stuff here. Lydia, your body has not been happy. Headaches due to detox. Yes. Well, we all know that we're going to have the headache day, most of us, and it's not fun. Yesterday was my headache day. I woke up and I was like, oh, I feel like there's like a ton of bricks in my head and it's squishing all my nerves, right? And you can take ibuprofen if you need to. So just an FYI. Yep, you've been there, done that. Inflammation is better. Yep. Coming out of it. That's awesome. All right. So Angie has a 4. Jennifer has a 5. Sharon is a 3. And Sharon, I saw where you sent over the menu that they give you. I agree that it's sparse, but there are some things in there that you can have. You can have the turkey, the proteins. I'm curious, Sharon, what do you like to eat in terms of detox? You've been on this rodeo, but what do you really like to eat?
Actually, I like a lot of vegetables, protein, chicken, turkey, and fish, and pork in moderation. Now, my body doesn't do well with beef. Every once in a while, I may be able to eat a burger or a steak, but as far as vegetables, usually I'll start off my plate with eating the vegetables and then go to the protein. So,
Okay.
um,
So where you're at, Sharon, do you have a full-size refrigerator and freezer?
no, it's the those little college dorm size.
Mm-hmm.
So I got some of them just up in the bottom, and then
You're cutting
I
out.
don't got still 14. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. So,
Hello? Okay. So it's 14 of them, but I got some in the freezer and some in the little fridge part. And they're supposed to be able to last for 14 days.
mhm, okay. All right. Just checking.
But I still have my detox food that I'm gonna keep eating. And on that note, yesterday was the three, and it's because it may be less. And it's because I went here on Wednesdays is cooking day, and I'm usually that one. So I was cooking everything. I didn't eat any of it at all. But what I did do is taste everything and then spit it out, justifying it like, okay,
Ah,
nobody else has a palate like mine, so how they're gonna know the season right. And then I did take a little piece of cake, a teaspoon. Yeah, it was about a teaspoonful, but I didn't spit that out. I just um, well, not, but I did. I gained a pound and a half, and I know that's related to the day when I ate the Jolly Ranchers and stuff.
yeah,
But I am beginning to feel a little bit lighter.
yeah. Okay. All right. So we've got Catherine, who is 4.5 and down 5.8 pounds. Irma is a 5 and down 4.9. Good job. Sharon is a 4. Pamela went rogue. All right. And Lydia says in between a 3 and 4. Timing was off. Down 1 pound. You've had headaches each day. Gotcha. Okay. So I want to talk about our relationship with food. And I want to show you something. And then I want to take a moment to pair you up in a breakout for you to share with a partner what your observations are about your relationship with food. Okay, so let me just, first of all, share my screen and let's get a whiteboard going. All right, so we have these different kinds of relationships. And the truth is we honestly, we fluctuate between all of these at different points. Every time we come across something emotionally that we're not prepared for, or it's a trigger, that is the time when we are most likely to jump off plan, or we choose to react to the change by reverting back to what we've always known. And that's just a fact about what we do. So as we look at our relationships, I want you to look at it. Sorry, my lines aren't so super straight. This doesn't make it easy. I want you to look at your relationship with food historically and currently. These could be the same, one and the same, but for some of you, this is going to be different. Okay. And then also, we'll just say future here. So I want you to just pick one of these types of relationship, all right? And you can even with your partner elaborate a little bit. Well, toxic relationship, here's what that looks like to me. Toxic relationship looks like every time I have an emotional trigger, I go and binge or, whatever. And I want you to talk about that from a historic lens, okay? So you want to talk about this here. All right. So if you're doing toxic relationship, what does it look like historically? These are the behaviors that I had. They would be triggered by blah, blah, blah. And we're probably only going to have time to We won't have time to look at future today. We'll do that tomorrow. But if you have time, I want you to give a picture of, okay, well, here's where it is currently compared to what I've historically done. If there's no difference, you can say there's no difference right now. Could be, toxic relationship. Currently, I am trying to fight it. These are the things on my mind. This is what I'm more aware of today than I was over the course of my life. So I want you to differentiate those two things, okay? So let me also, whoops. I'm going to snap this and I'm going to put it in chat for you so that you can see it. Okay. Snapshot, go. Capture. Let's see if it did that for us. No? Okay, well, I'm just going to do the file then. All right, just in case you need it for reference, I want you to have that. You can still see that when you go into your breakout room. So I'm going to partner you up here. And you're going to have this discussion. We're going to give you probably about six or 7 minutes. All righty, here we go. Coming back in 15 seconds. All right. Let's bring everybody back. All right, welcome back, ladies. Welcome back. I'm going to create my own theme song of welcome back. Not welcome back, Cotter. Welcome back. I don't know what that song's going to be. Okay, I digress. So let's check in, and who would be willing to share what you all talked about?
I'll share. And
Okay.
I will apologize to Miss Sharon because she came into the group a little late.
Yeah.
When Jennifer and I were in the midst of our discussion. And I'm just going to say the big takeaway though, from our group, and Jennifer can correct me, but the big takeaway for me is I used to do the yo-yo dieting, right? And now I am striving to be the more healthy, have a more healthy relationship with food, recognizing that this whole process is about identifying what your body really like and don't like, and recognize that there's some days that, you're going to want that. For me, like, I'm going to want some chips. There's some days I got one girlfriend, she's going to come over and we're going to drink a glass of wine. And so what I kind of like is that every meal is an entity of itself, so you don't have so much self-condemnation.
Yeah.
As you go along, because when you start feeling that I didn't do a good today, then you get off track and it becomes toxic. And so you don't want it to go toxic, but you want freedom. You want freedom in this process. And I believe we have it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we struggle because we're trying to be perfect.
Yeah. Oh,
And
great words there.
so, yeah. And then, there's some days when you just say, I don't care today, I'm going to do it. But I kind of tried to do that close to carb load day.
Right.
So.
Yeah, you have you know that you have an out when you get to carb load day. And if you notice in your guidebook, just on a practical note, if you scroll to the end of your guidebook, you'll see that we have a place where you can add things to a carb load list and things like that, so that you can keep track of them, so that your mind isn't saying that you lost that thought. Your mind tends to be more at ease when it knows that you've written something down and you can come back to it. But I love what you're saying. And the historical part, it's important to recognize that we are making progress. Toxicity comes in when we think that we're a victim to circumstances. And we're not a victim to circumstances. But if we walk with our eyes wide open and knowing that we live in choice, everything that we do is about choice. I don't care how difficult the situation is. Using the word can't, well, I can't get out of this. Well, you could drive to the other side of the world, or, there are always things to think about, but we really limit ourselves in our mindset. So those are the things that get toxic. So thank you for sharing that. Anyone else want to share what was in your conversation?
I will.
Okay.
Well, Pamela was talking about how she had blown it yesterday because she was too tired to even worry about it. She's in a different environment. She's got business to trying to get off the ground. And I think food just fell by the wayside. And I told her, I think that's what a lot of us face. But as children, we're programmed to get a treat when we've hurt ourselves, when we've been good, the whole 9 yards. So when you're feeling stressed in all the different phases of your life, then the food tends to creep in. And I recommended remembering that scripture. It's the one I've been hearing for the last couple of years. That's to take every thought captive.
Yeah.
And with that, you can decide, is that really I'm hungry, or am I thirsty, or is this just the wrong time of day? I mean, having a schedule, planning what you're going to eat. And if you know you're going to leave the house, take the day's worth of food with you.
Yeah.
I got caught out yesterday the same way. I had unexpected trip. I had my snack I had my breakfast fruit and I had my lunch, but I was an hour late getting my afternoon snack and pushed my dinner back another hour. And as hard as I try, water is a challenge. And I woke up at 3 a.m. and drank a bottle of water because I had a headache.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just figuring out what's making you go crazy.
Yeah.
Where that's coming from.
Yeah. And first of all, just addressing what Pamela was going through, I look at that as, in terms of our choices, that's more of an abusive relationship kind of with food in my estimation. There's when we talk about those toxic and abusive levels of relationship, there are strongholds there. And those strongholds start to dictate what you do in your life and the way that you see food. And so if you think about women who are in abusive marriages or abusive relationships, the toxic part of it is when they actually stay. The abusive part, I mean, is they get abused and then they go and try to get help, and maybe they go to a shelter or something, but then they go back. They go back because that's what they know and that's what's ingrained in their minds. And so those are strongholds that we have to work on to manage those. So thank you. And also thank you for sharing what you said. So we're going to keep working on this and we're going to dig deep. That's what we are doing this year. We're going to keep looking at these relationships, because how we characterize our relationship and how we choose to be in relationship with food is going to be the difference between life and death, between progress and failures. And we're also going to learn how to balance these relationships and walk in with our eyes wide open and make choices and be happy about our choices and not beat ourselves up over them, but also not to make excuses for continually getting off plan or continually binging or whatever it is that the behavior is for us. I know I mean, historically I've been a binger. That's my thing. I try to take lots of food medication when, in my past. I've overcome that. And I'm very thankful for that. And I feel much better and have a lot more confidence in myself because of that. And so I want to make sure that all of us are getting there too. So I know that we're over. It's 8:40. So we're going to keep having this conversation tomorrow. Angie.
I was going to say tomorrow, if I got a few minutes, I received an invitation via email yesterday afternoon that I would love to share with you all and have a discussion about tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Very pertinent to everything we're going through.
Great. Sounds awesome. Remind me tomorrow when we get on and we'll do that up front. Okay. All right, ladies, I hope you have a great day. For all my VIP business members, we've got our coaching clinic today, our mindset coaching clinic today. So for those of you who will be on at that 12 noon Eastern, I'll see you then. All right. Bye-bye.